Afternoon, evening, morning, don't know what time it is for y'all, but welcome back. I have a video that I've been looking forward to for some time today. Probably not, I didn't think it was going to be as much as the Hangjiao, but the more things started to grow out there, the more I realized that I was really excited about this video. Before we get down to that, I'm just going to go over what's been going on. I did the Charapita video a couple of days ago. I don't think I did a whole lot of updates on what's going on. The season's going well. A lot of stuff is growing and blooming out there. A lot of pods on the plant. I'm just waiting to turn a couple that I'm still quite excited about. Oh goodness, but I decided yesterday that I was just bored enough to go ahead and start working on some hot sauce, so I made one. This is my first new hot sauce of the year. It's I had about a half a bag of mixed frozen fruit in my freezer. So threw them into a saucepan with a can of pineapple. The whole can, didn't drain anything. Let it simmer for a bit. Threw a couple reapers in there. Little garlic, allspice, just black pepper, and I believe that was it. Mixed it all up, let it simmer, ground it down or blended it down, and then ran it through this food mill that I picked up last year. And let me tell you something, I actually like the food mill a whole lot when it comes to straining. It's a little bit more work, but I like the final product a bit more. This has got, you can sort of see the pieces left on the side of the bottle. You can do this straining, but you've got to have so many different kinds of strainers to get the exact consistency you're looking for. With just the tiniest bit of xanthan gum in this, boiling it for a bit, letting it get mixed in, then putting it all in a blender to make sure it's really well mixed with the xanthan, because that stuff tends to clump when you put it in there. It has this great consistency. It's thick, but it's not too thick. It drips out of the bottle. This is an old Cholula bottle. You can tell by the wooden top. Repurposed for my own hot sauce. The heat level is not very high, but I didn't put a whole lot in it. I mean, 2 reapers. You hear reaper and you immediately think, oh God, this is going to kill me. But when you put 2 reapers in a large pot with a bunch of fruit, that's gonna, the acidity is going to cut it down, and then you simmer it for a long time, the heat breaks it down, so it's not too bad. It's just really flavorful and very sweet. Quite happy with how this turned out. This is a white Fatale. The more perceptive of you and the least colorblind of you have probably realized this is indeed not white. So this one either crossed or was mislabeled. For the reference, that is white, this is not. So I'm not going to be reviewing this one. I do have a plant out there that has a really pale green seed, or pale green pod that looks like this. These were the normal color green, which is kind of, I don't really have anything to compare it to out here, but the other ones are about 50% lighter, and I'm hoping that they'll be the ones that ripen to white. We shall see. Oh, I'm sorry, I got off on a tear about the hot sauce and forgot to mention the cool part. Some of you may have tried this before. I found out about it a couple of months ago and have been looking forward to trying it as soon as I could get the stuff together to actually make a fresh sauce. When you're done sifting everything out, getting all the skins, the seeds, and everything that you don't want mixed in with the final product of the sauce, it comes out as a mash. And the mash, when you get all the juice out of it, you get this dried, gooey, leftover, well, mash, as it were. Well, you can take that, put it into a dehydrator, and dry it out. Now, because this one is fruit-based, it's still very leathery, even though it's been drying for almost a full day. So I don't think I'll be able to dry this one out any further. It's actually just delicious as it is. I don't know if the color is going to come up well, but you can see the red flakes in there. That's the only thing red that was in this was the Reaper, so that's little tiny bits of Reaper, and the black dots are kiwi seeds, because I know there was kiwi in it. And heat level on this is, it's pretty low. It's very sweet. It's just snackable, really. And I'm looking forward to trying it next time when I'm doing something that's not fruit. When I just make a pure pepper mash, that should be able to dry out completely bone dry, and then I can knock that down into a powder. So then I can make a hot sauce and then a powder for making rubs and such. So, anyhow. I may have lied about the heat. No, I didn't. It just went down the wrong tube. Whew. A little scary there. So, what are we doing today? You've probably seen the video title already to know that we are finally getting to the Hangjiao number... Hey, buddy. Just came in from outside. It's like 103 degrees out and he's still wearing his tuxedo. What a champion. But we're doing the Hangjiao number 9. So I showed you this one earlier. That actually, we'll go with one that more people know about. Anyway, everyone knows what a ghost pepper looks like, right? Well, this is the Hangjiao number 9 space pepper. Ghost, space. I don't really need to say a whole lot about this. I think the pod speaks for itself on this one. So before we go into the details about the plant itself, or about the pepper itself, we're going to step outside, do my usual taking a look at the plant, and then we'll be back to sample this. Looking forward to it. See you in a minute. We have stepped outside, and I'm going to go ahead and say, try not to judge this plant too much by its cover. It's not huge, but it's productive. We see a couple that are turning here. Don't confuse the ones back here. Those are a different plant. But these are huge, and this one right down here is the one we're going to try today. I know a little bit of it is green, but the tip down here is starting to turn really dark, and I don't want it to soften up too much. And honestly, that's as ripe as it's going to get. So, this is the one we're trying today. This is the plant. They are pretty stringy, wiry looking almost. Not quite as bushy as some of the others, but healthy so far. So let's go back in and give this bad boy a try. So yeah, as we see, the plant is typical capsicum annuum look to it. The leaves aren't huge, they're kind of spread out. One grows per split, so you got a Y and you'll have one of these coming out of it, not like the chinense where you have 3 or 4 sometimes. So, what is this? This is the descendant of a seed that the Chinese embassy, maybe not Chinese embassy, that's not the word, but the Chinese put into space. This is directly, I'm going to read this, I hate to read it, but I can't remember all this information, from chiliseeds.com. I'll put a link in the description. The seeds from a range of vegetables were fired into space, where they orbited Earth for approximately 2 weeks. Once they returned to Earth, they were cultivated in hothouses, producing monster specimens, including 21-pound tomatoes, 15 stone pumpkins, enormous watermelons, and 9-inch long chilies. I mean, I got a big head, and this is as long as my head. So, the scientists who have studied these gigantic vegetables claim that the near-zero gravity conditions, microgravity, have created high-yield, more nutrient-rich produce with harvest 10 to 20% greater than normal. China believes that this could be the answer to the world's food crisis, although Western scientists are skeptical. I gotta say I'm kind of skeptical of that too, because I don't see how being in low gravity is gonna really affect the outcome of a seed that much, but it speaks for itself, right? There are 10 different varieties of space chili. This is number 9. They call it the Big Bang. At least that's all. This one was labeled as number 9, so it's hard to know. It's apparently very mild, which is why I'm really looking forward to trying it, although it seems a shame to just bite directly into this. I'm going to. Foregoing the ice cream today, figured there's no need. It's labeled as mild. I probably won't even need the milk, but it expired on the 15th, and today, well, it says sell by the 15th. Today is the 16th. It's got to go somewhere, and Nikolai can't drink all of it. So, we're going to give this a try. I've read a lot about them. They have a lot of hype. And as I said out there, I needed to go ahead and pick this one because these are big targets for bugs. They stay on the plant for a long time before they finally start to turn red, and a lot of them have suffered blossom end rot. Larger pods have that issue early in the season especially. Later in the season, their calcium uptake should be fine, but I'm going to give this a try, and then we will talk about it from there. My immediate thought is, I want to keep going. So I'm gonna. The seeds are way down in there. You still can't even see them. This is without a doubt a sweet pepper. No heat so far. None. Like, this actually washed away the remnants of what I had from that fruit leather. This is delicious. This is like biting into a sweeter than normal bell pepper. Mmm. Oh, that is fantastic. Yep, the seeds are a little ways down there. I'm going to be saving the seeds from this very pod because I don't care if it crossed with something. I'm looking forward to seeing what it could have crossed with anyway. But this is amazing. This lives up to every bit of hype that I've ever read about it. They're huge, productive plants, very sweet. Pick off the vine, stick directly into face, sweet. Mmm. This is one of my favorite ones I've ever grown. There's a bit of heat. Not a lot, just a tinge. Very, very mild. Less than a jalapeno by a substantial amount. Not too much further up and you'll start to see some seeds, but the wall is fairly thick for a pepper this size. It's definitely thicker than like your cayennes and your ghosts. Not quite as thick as your bells, but that's why the bell is so widely used, is because there's so much flesh to it. But this is fantastic. This might be my go-to sweet pepper from now on. Delicious, fruity taste. Seriously, this is like a sweeter than normal bell pepper. Sweeter and much longer than normal bell pepper. So yeah, I don't think I need to sit here and go on and on. I'm actually almost out of space on my phone. I need to clear stuff out. I got an actual tripod to record on now instead of this weird thing that I had set up before. So, anywho, this was enjoyable. I'm looking forward to finishing this, trying others from this. I would like to try a couple of the maybe warmer Hangjiao peppers, and maybe next year we'll get something going from that. But for this, I'm just pleased as punch as how well this turned out. This would be excellent for pickling, cooking, or just eating as a snack. I'm probably going to grow more of these next year. Just the 2 this year. I'll probably grow 4 or 5 next year because these are delicious. Yeah, now you can see the seeds are right there. So I'm right on the cusp of the seeds, just starting to get that hint of heat. Any chili head out there could eat this thing without taking a sip of anything. No problem. A non-chili head probably wouldn't struggle too much. But there you go. That's my review of the Hangjiao number 9. Hope you enjoyed. I also hope that one of these Bahamian goats is going to turn soon. They've been on the plant for some time. I'm going to end this here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. So, may have lied. The more I bite into this, the warmer it gets. This is probably actually a little bit hotter than a jalapeno the further you get. Down at the tip, no heat at all. But up in this area, where the placenta and seeds are, definitely more heat. I normally would have left it as it is, but I do feel the need to go ahead and express that, because I know there are people that would watch these and only want something that's sweet with no heat. This may be a good starter point if you're trying to build up a heat tolerance. Less than a cayenne, probably a little more than a jalapeno. Again, I don't want to go any further down specifically because I just want to save the seeds. Once I save the seeds, I may chomp on it a little bit just as a little snack, but I had to go ahead and do this addendum. So, a little hotter than I originally expected, but only in the back half, which is actually to be expected. Still highly suggested. It's sweet all the way down so far. Every bit of this has been equally sweet from top to bottom. So, no bitterness so far, even in the placenta area. And I have to say, still a pleasure. Now, I'm actually going to end the video, and I will see you in the next one. Grow this pepper. It's fantastic.